Hey guys, this video is going to be focusing in on our to-do list. Now, you will only have things in your to-do list if your teacher is able and has been sending you things digitally. And the reason I know I have something is because I see a number 2 here. And so I can simply click on To Do. And this is going to show that my teacher has sent me some practice pages and then a vocabulary review. Now, a couple of different options. You can print these things and just do them pencil paper by simply clicking on the little cog or wheel here, and it says Open Original Format. You want to open original format. This is just a PDF that you can then click on the printer icon. Mine happens to be right here. Yours might be in a little different place. Or you can click up at the top, go to File, and click Print. Make sure you ask an adult before printing out all of these pages. Now, my teacher did not specify whether or not to do one of them or 2 of them, so I'm assuming my teacher wants me to do all of them, and there's about 10 of them here. I can scroll through and see the different ones. All right, now if I am able and I want to do them digitally, you might be used to doing them digitally, you could simply click on the little icon there of the pages, and they're going to open up. Let me make this nice and big. In this window with the gray bars, this is sort of the interactive format. So I could actually do this here digitally online, and I've got my T for type, so I can choose different fonts, right? And I could choose different colors. I'm just going to stick with black here. A different I'm going to use Arial, I think, size 14, that works. And then I can come over here and I can click on the page, and then I can use that and type into it. Now, I also have a circle, so if, for example, if it asked me to circle a word, I could do that. I've got a box tool, a pencil tool, a highlighting tool. Anything that I do, let me go back to that T for type. Anything that I do here as I'm typing, right? So there, got my blinking cursor, and I can type on here. I always want to remember that I need to save my work. That's going to save to my assignments and save to my binder. And then once I've done that, and once I've done the work and I've saved it, I can close that window and I can see that it's been saved here. Now, if you had already been working on a page or 2 and you want to return, you could just click on it from here. So if I click on that, I can see the work that I've done, and I could go to the next page and continue. So that's just another opportunity to work through the practice pages. Let's take a look at this assignment. Oh, and by the way, whoops, once I've got all of that work done, I would hit submit and I could send it to my teacher. I also like the idea that I could send a note to my teacher, so if I want to write almost like a little text message back to my teacher, if I had an issue or a problem, or maybe I could say, this was really easy for me, I could tell my teacher how I felt or how I did on these practice. Or if I needed maybe the teacher to help me out. Then also on the review vocabulary game here, I would want to be able to review the words to know first, right? So the words to know are on the home page, and then I could come here and play this game, go through and play this game, and then I could let my teacher know that I played the game and then hit submit. So that is my to-do list. Ways that if your teacher is sending you assignments, and remember, you'll know they've sent you something because there would be a little number 1 or a 2 or a 3 right here. If you don't see a number here, you don't need to worry about it because your teacher's not sending you necessarily specific things to do. You can just go through some of these different areas and keep up your skills by reading a story, playing a game on your own. All right, well, thanks for joining me on the to-do list video, and join me for my next one, which we'll talk about words to know. Hi everyone, this is the vocabulary or words to know video. So we're going to focus on this icon right here. What are our words to know? And so all I need to do is click on that. Words to know. And I'm going to choose my Unit 5 Week 1 vocabulary. Make this full screen. And what you can do here is make sure that you are able to read these words. It would be great for you to write them, maybe in a journal or on a piece of paper. Also, making sure you know how to spell them correctly would be another added benefit. But most importantly, I want you to click on those words and you will see a visual. So you have a picture that goes with this key vocabulary and you see the word used in a sentence as an example. So this word is admit. Josh had to admit to his mom that he got dirt on her clean sheets. Uh-oh. But also if you need that audio support, you can click on the speaker icon and it will read that sentence for you. When you click on the tab that says routine, every word is going to have a define, example, ask, routine. And this is really where you can start to put that word into your muscle memory. So we're going to give a definition of the word, an example of the word, which is again what we saw on the front of the card. That's the example, and then the ask. And so this is really where it will be interactive for you to practice your vocabulary with someone there that's maybe at home with you, or to answer these questions in a journal. When it says our word is admit. Admit means when you admit something, you confess it. Tell about something you had to admit. And so learning those words is really important. And then down here at the bottom, you can navigate back to the house, which will take you back to all of your words, and you can click into the next set of words. And so you'd want to go through, and maybe you need to go through these more than once. That's okay. But those are your words to know. And what's great about that is that once you practice your words to know, over here in the game section, there's going to be a vocabulary game that will allow you to practice and see how well you've learned the meaning of those words. So words to know, very important. Again, I used this as a third grade example, but it doesn't matter whether you're third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, your words to know button would be right here. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day. Hello again, and now this is a short video on the games icon. And so you can click right here onto games, and this will be the particular games that go with this unit and week of instruction. And again, I happen to be logged in under a fifth grade student dashboard, but it would not matter what grade level it is. You have this game icon and you'll see your particular games for your particular grade level. So you have grammar games and phonics games, vocabulary games, all sorts of activities here. So if I click on, for example, let's do this phonics game on prefixes, make this full screen. If you need help reading the directions, you've got audio support, a little question mark there if you have questions about it. But here we're basically going to read the sentence and we're going to drag the right prefix and base word to the lines to complete the sentence. So she didn't clean up, so her room was incomplete. Let's see, if I can get it there, I'll say disorder. I think that's the right answer. Check it. Boom.
Great job.
Well, thank you. And then you can click the next button and go to the next game or activity. So again, you'll have different activities, games that you can play and practice. This is great. You know, you can play games that you've already played before. That's a great way to keep up your skills. If you want to go to see all the games, just come up here under resources. And once you're in your resource library here under games, and you can sort of choose different games by different categories, or you can simply use the arrows and click through all the pages and pages of games for you to play. So it'd be really great if you played 2 or 3 games, you know, each day. That would be a great way to kind of keep up your skills and keep that practice up. So those are the games. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick little video, and our next video will be about reading. Hey there students, hey there parents. This is our video that is focused on reading, the reading icon here. And one of the things I just want to remind you, again, your dashboard might look a little different. You might have different pictures. It's fine. I happen to be logged in under a 4th grade student account. Now, I also want to point out that with each week, whether it's the words to know, the games we play, or what we're reading, it's all tied to the focus for the week, and the essential question. So here, when I click on the read icon, it's all going to be texts and stories that are answering the question or centered around the question, how can learning about the past help you understand the present? So let's click on this read icon, and we can see this week's reads. So Treks Through Time, the founding of Jamestown, rediscovering things from history. So these are all texts that I could read about that are connected to this essential question. So let's open up one of these texts. Okay, so here I am. This happens to be one of my selections from my literature anthology, Rediscovering Our Spanish Beginnings. This is from our Time for Kids magazine articles. But you'll notice that same essential question there. You'll see the same highlighted vocabulary that was in Words to Know. You're also probably noticing the icons for the audio. So you do have audio support, so if you want to listen to it being read aloud, you could do that as well. I also like to point out that at the beginning of each of your texts on the title page here, right next to the title, you have this icon that says language summary. And so you actually have the story summarized, not just in English, this is kind of cool, in multiple languages. So if you speak a different language at home, this might be really helpful for parents as well. Now, let's go ahead and turn through our text, and notice that when you get to the end of a story, and parents, this is great for you to know too, that we ask the students to respond to the text in some way, such as writing a summary, maybe writing in response to the text, connecting it. So you'll see some ways to respond to the text. Let's take a look at another story, because guess what? I'm in my book. I can come up here to the top and I've got my table of contents. So I could go to my table of contents and I could pull up any of the stories that I've already read previously. If I want to do that, if I want to review some stories, I could do that as well. So here, maybe I want to go look at this text called Spiders by Nick Bishop. And one of the things that you're going to notice on this particular page is that you see some highlighting and some circling. Remember that you as a student have some icons up here in the top left, like a highlighter, a pen tool, virtual post-it note. So if you want to make a note, you can do that as you're reading. That's a great way to track your thinking. Then, as we said earlier, when you get to the end of the selection, let me turn several pages here, and we'll come to the end of this very cool spider story. You will see at the end information about the author, and again, just like we saw before with that other story, responding to the text. You've got ways to summarize, write about the story. There's even some sentence starters. So, while you're at home and you're reading, grab a spiral, grab a sheet of notebook paper or a blank sheet of paper, and just respond and write about this story or this text. Also, you can make connections, thinking about the essential question and maybe just how you feel like you relate to a particular selection. So again, you can do that with any of the texts as you are reading them. Also, remember, these are this week's reads that were tied to that essential question. I also want to remind you that if you come up here to the top and click on Resources, under your resources, you've got access to all of your different books, right? All of your different texts that are in the Wonders resource, the curriculum, the anthology selections, your shared reads, additional student reads. This is really fun because guess what? You've got Time for Kids articles, even more articles here digitally, and Reader's Theater. What a great way to make learning at home fun and interactive. Grab some people that are maybe in the house with you, siblings, parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever, and again, you could be doing a play and performing a play. Also want to remind you that you also have access to all of the different leveled books here And so maybe it's a book that you didn't get to read, something that was already studied. You could go back and read a different book or read it again. And even these books have questions, have activities, things that you could do at home, especially if it's a nonfiction book. If it's more science or social studies related, you'll even see science and social studies activities built in there. And of course, don't forget as well about any of the research and inquiry projects. Those would be fun to do. So again, hopefully this has just been a great quick short video on how to access the different reading materials. And believe me guys, one of the best things you can do while you are learning from home is read a little bit every day. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye-bye.